Insurance is a reality of life, right? We need the coverage for the vehicles we drive, the homes we own, even for the lives of our family. And if there is one area in your budget where you might want to cut corners, my next guest saying insurance coverage, not it. Scott Smith of Smith Law Office joining me with his take along with some great advice. So good to see you again, Scott.
Good to see you.
So you said this to me before, don't try to save money when it comes to insurance, which I think everybody in general, right? We always try to save a buck. But you think, in fact, most of us should actually take it up a step.
Well, Robin, you're right. Unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of insurance, but it's a necessary evil to protect our family. The most important thing we should have the appropriate amount of coverage to cover all of the things that can be covered.
So when we hear the phrase state minimum, does that mean that's not enough? Should we not consider that enough?
It's not enough. It's not enough. Your life isn't worth state minimums, Robin. Neither is mine or our families. You want to get enough coverage that covers the family that you think the value is available to you in terms of your property. You can't put a value on life, but you can put a substantial value on your coverage. So if in fact something happens, you've got enough coverage to cover you, and if, heaven forbid, you hurt someone else, cover for that too.
And there is a term, and I wasn't very familiar with it, but it's umbrella insurance. So what exactly is that in regards to, the general insurance coverage that we're getting out there today?
Umbrella is a very interesting insurance coverage that you don't hear about from agents. And my theory is you don't hear about it because it's cheap, but it gives you so much coverage. Umbrella is like it sounds, Robin. You have a car, you may have a boat, you may have two cars, and you have a house. You've got insurance for your home, your car, maybe your boat, but umbrella covers them all. So you have that minimum coverage or appropriate coverage, but if you buy a little bit more coverage of umbrella, you get into the millions, and it's not that expensive.
And that's the biggest part. I think people think, oh, I'm not going to pay an arm and a leg to get all this extra insurance if I don't know I need it, but it's not that expensive, which is why they're not telling you about it, right?
Well, that's my guess. I'm not sure. But when my agent, I tell them exactly what I want because I know what I want. If you go to your agent and go, look, I've got coverage on my cars and my home. How much for an umbrella coverage, or I can get into the millions? How much is it? You'd be surprised how much your quotes are. It's worth talking to your agent about.
And then, does this cover just property claims, or is this medical too? Because that could be the most expensive part when you get into a situation.
Well, it depends what you buy. You have to have a little sophistication about what you're buying. Hopefully your agent can teach you, but I'm telling you is you want the big things. You want your car covered. You want it in case you're hurt in a car collision or you hurt somebody else.
And you mentioned that maybe not your insurance company going to say it, but does every insurance company offer it?
Well, that's a good question. Not all do. If you go to an independent agent, they can shop you for many different companies, and if you tell them you want umbrella, they'll go find the companies that do that. So that covers you on top of the coverage for your house and your cars. It's just added security.
And is this something that specifically, I guess, as a benefit would be because you get paid more money for a claim, that you have more coverage? Is it just that it's covering everything?
Well, it's covering everything. It covers it in case you hurt somebody. Let's assume you hurt a school bus full of kids and there's a lot of injuries. You were careless, but you owe. If you have enough coverage, it covers all of their losses, at least I hope you can. And the same thing if someone hits you and your family in your car, you've got enough coverage on top of your auto insurance to maybe make yourself whole again, maybe.
All right. And Scott, you always cut it to people straight. So I think even coming in, talking with you and your team, and you guys are always willing to just talk with folks and tell them all these things that they have at their fingertips, right?
Education's key.
That's what it is. All right. Scott Smith Law Office, phone number, website up on screen. Always good to talk with you.
Thank you, Robin.